Hello and welcome back to Quiet RC. As usual, I'm Rob, and as you can see today, now we are down in the workshop. I thought I'd do a little what's on the bench, but specifically, I'm going to start out today by talking about 10 things that I think would be good gifts for the RC addict in your life.
Santa! Oh my God!
And then at the end of the list, I will give you just one more kind of a hack when it comes to gift giving for somebody that's into RC. So let's go ahead and get started.
Shh.
Okay, the first thing that I have on the list here is a set of JIS bits, or Japanese Industrial Standard. Now, they may look like standard Phillips head screwdrivers, but in actuality, they are the perfect size and standard for specifically Tamiya kits. So if you have somebody in your life that's doing a lot of building of Tamiya kits, as I'm in the middle of right now, those old Tamiya kits use Phillips head, but they're actually not the regular kind of number 2 Phillips head that we use here in the US. So this is a JIS. This is a bit kit that I got on Amazon. And of course, I'll have links to everything down below. Full disclosure, I have no affiliate links, no sponsorships, so those are there just to help you out. They don't actually help the channel out. If you want to help the channel out, of course, you can always like something, subscribe, and share. And if you guys comment down below, I just like interacting with you, so please go ahead and do that. Next up, and these are in no particular order, I want to talk specifically about MIP hex drivers. You may go out and you may see some hex drivers out there and just think, why are these almost twice as much? Well, this is definitely a buy once, cry once. And the reason I specifically would suggest these MIP tools is that a lot of the RTR kits that are out there, they don't use the greatest metal in the screws that they supply in the kit. What's nice about these is these are so good and they fit so precisely that even on garbage screws, they'll prevent it from stripping a lot of the time. And even if they've stripped on a cheaper hex driver, you'll have a better chance with this one. Now this one, just zip ties, a bunch of little zip ties. I'm a colorful guy, so I like to get a lot of different colorful zip ties here. I end up using them to kind of color match my entire builds, but just a packet of smaller and even larger zip ties comes in really handy, and it's a nice thing to just have around your shop. Next up, pretty much every hobbyist has an X-Acto knife, but what you really want to do is have just an absolute overflowing surplus of X-Acto blades, specifically the number 11 blades. You really want these around. This is a 100 pack from Excel. I believe I got these either on Amazon or Hobbytown. And what's nice is that there's so many things where just having a brand new sharp blade really helps. If it's trimming a body, if it's trimming the masking, if it's trimming decals, or even any of the stuff that you're working on here, it's nice to have that knowledge, just knowing that you have a ton of these blades. So even if you think the blade is sharp, just throw it out, get a new one. Just always be having a new blade in your X-Acto knife. Huge help. This one, side cutters. They may look like regular wire cutters, but they are flat on one side, and they're perfect for cutting parts off of parts trees or sprues. What it does a much better job of leaving a nice clean edge on the piece that you've just cut off. And these are great for just having around. I just broke mine last weekend, and this is one of the first things I went out and replaced right away. A decent caliper. A lot of setups. It's going to be good to have that kind of nice millimeter, measurement. But things like putting together tie rods and things like that, where the kit will tell you, hey, this is supposed to be 57 millimeters. Holding up a ruler to that doesn't always work as well. But having a set of calipers where you can do outside measurements, inside measurements, and this will actually do depth as well, because this will actually go and figure out how deep your whatever it is you're measuring. So a lot of different ways you can use it. I did buy some cheap ones, and finally I bought a more expensive one. It's all metal and it's held together much better. I often like to use a power screwdriver. Some people use regular drills. However, I think you need to be a little bit more advanced with that, because you really need to control the speed a lot better. This doesn't have a ton of torque and it doesn't have a ton of speed, so you're not going to get yourself in too much trouble using one of these electric screwdrivers. As a little bonus, this one actually rotates to a kind of gun style. I almost never use it like that. I use it like this. So very useful. And because it has just a generic hex, it actually will fit kind of any standard bit. So very helpful to have. Shoe goo is huge. Love having this stuff around. A lot of people use it for a lot of different things. I use it for putting on Lexan, a lot of times using it for putting on like Lexan parts onto a Lexan body. So some of the wings on the side parts here are all held on with this very clear, you can't even see it here, shoe goo. A lot of people use it in conjunction with some drywall mesh tape and reinforce bodies or fix bodies that are split. You can also use it to hold on a lot of electronic components in the car. It is strong enough where it will hold things in place and it won't come flying off if you're crashing or anything like that. But if you ever want to remove it, you can remove it. It's not 100% permanent. You can kind of get in there with a little plastic pry and pop it off, and it will eventually just peel off. So it's a little flexible, it's clear, but very strong hold. It's really nice to have just a little flashlight like this, because sometimes you're working in areas like inside this little electric box right here, and it's nice just to be able to get a little extra light in there, even underneath these lights when I can't get enough light in there. The last thing that I want to mention here is a parts tray, a small parts tray specifically. I did a video where I built my own parts tray out of some old oak and ash. Not necessary that you build your own. However, I did put off for a long time just getting a regular small parts tray. So I believe this one is either ProTech or J Concepts, I can't recall. But either way, I'll look it up and I will find out and put a link below. And it's just nice to have this available. It helps keep parts when you're disassembling kind of in some sort of order so you're not losing them, or when you're building a kit, when you take them all out of the bag and you can put them here and separate them out. I put it off for way too long getting one of these. It was silly. My last little hack for gift giving for somebody who's into RC in your life is go into their pit box if they're a racer, or they might have a bag or some sort of carrying device for tools when they go out bashing or when they just go out to do speed runs somewhere. And what they're doing is they're taking some tools with them so they can kind of fix stuff while they're out away from their own bench. However, you're constantly packing up stuff that you already have on your bench. So go into their toolbox, take a look at what they have, and just buy them a copy of something that they already have. Because it'd be nice, and I started doing this, just buying kind of extras of things that I already have. Just buy the extra, put it in the pit box. I don't have to worry about taking it out, putting it back in. Did I forget it? It's just always there. So those are my ideas for Christmas gifts for the RCA person in your life. Now I'm going to go and just talk about what I'm working on right now. So if you want, you can stick around. And if not, please just like it and share this around if you have some other people that might want some gift ideas for that RC person in your life. But let's go ahead and talk about what I'm working on right now. All right, the main thing that I'm working on right now is this Super Hotshot build. I am kind of doing a Blockhead Motors version. I already have a Hotshot 2, the Blockhead Motors version, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of do a Blockhead version of the actual Super Shot. I have some new shocks on order. I don't like those in the front. They're just a little too long. I thought they would work, but they're just a little too long. I am going to use them in the rear. So that's what's being worked on right now. Always get stopped a little bit because I forget that I have to paint the guy. And I'm deciding to do some extra lighting and things of that nature. Now, the other thing that I have, all of my parts are finally in, is updating the Rolaro AK917. I have some parts I need to repair, some new tires, wheels. I'm trying to convert it to Mod 1. So that's kind of all on the slate here. Small little thing here, but my fan in the back of my RC10 V6.4 stopped working at the last race night that I was at. So I'm going to have one of those on the way in as well. I am slowly amassing a small collection of brushed motors for some of my retro builds. It took me a while to find a Speedgem Topaz, Speedgems 2 specifically. These are Speedgems 1 that I'm going to use on a build, but these are all actually just kind of junk. I have a Reedy Sonic question mark here. I have a Tamiya Acto. I have a MaxTech Shockwave. That one is going to go in a car that I don't even have yet. I haven't even found it yet. Now I have something really special in here that I just got back from getting custom anodized. And that's going to be for 2 special builds that have a similar theme to them. One of those special builds is the Phantom 2, the Gold Edition, so I still have to do that. Now, one thing that I do have coming up as well is I'm just going to go on a retro touring car craze. So I have this is going to get built, this TA02 45th anniversary Porsche build. These are all the various parts, paints and everything like that that I want to use for that. I have a TA03 RS, which is the shortened version. I have a kit and I have a body and all of the electronics that I want to use for that. Up here, I have a regular TA03R. So that's the TA03 with the motor in the rear. As you can see, I also have this Yokomo YR4M2. That's going to get built. I have this TC3 team kit. These are all new in box, never been built before, so I'm very excited about that. With this, I also I just bought a body on eBay special for that. I have a TC01 on pre-order, and in that box is all of the upgrades that I'm going to use and the body I'm going to be using for that as well. So I'm pretty excited about that. And the last thing I want to mention, just because I don't really know when this is going to be, when I'm going to get around to this, or even if I'm going to make a video for it. If it's something you really want to see, let me know. But this was my original RC10T from when I was like 13 or 14. Later, a few years later, I started working at Al's Hobby Shop in Elmhurst. And this was a RPM Worlds chassis. I guess they call them Ultra Mold. And it was just kind of stuffed somewhere in the back. And so I converted my 10T, started to convert it into a buggy, and just kind of never finished it. So I finally kind of got around to finishing it. Not sure where I'm going to go with it right now, but this is where it is right now. And I've even got a body that's half painted that I haven't gotten around to finishing. However, that's what I got going on right now. So please like and subscribe, of course. Set notifications so you can be notified when I do get around to these projects. But we do have more videos planned, more videos coming up. So very excited for it. Anyways, thanks for checking us out, and we'll talk RC again later.